Welcome back to AM Northwest. Spring is just a month away, so it's time to start prepping our gardens now. Here with some helpful tips, we welcome back Executive Director of Growing Gardens, Jason Skipton. Great to see you again. Okay, let's check in on our cover garden.
Yeah, right. So check this out. So I wanted to, again, keep bringing this in.
Right.
We've had some cold nights. We had about 10 nights of ice, right?
Yeah.
So it was freezing, below temperature. And you'll see on a couple of these spots, right? They're yellowing. But also here's a little bit of black, right? That means it got freeze, like it basically froze.
Yeah.
So this is freezer burn. So the idea and why I wanted to bring this in just to show is that you want your cover crop to take the hit of the cold, which is great. You don't want it to hit your soil. So this is basically, this is basically a blanket. So the idea of cover crop is you're covering the soil to protect it. And it's doing its job. It's doing great. It looks great right now.
How long do you keep the cover crop?
Yeah, so that'll be in just the next couple of months before we plant. What we're actually going to do is cut it all the way down to the soil and then chop it up and incorporate it. This is all nitrogen. So you might go to the store, the garden store, and buy nitrogen. This is basically growing nitrogen for your soil.
Okay. All right. And then you mentioned, talk to me about this plant.
Yeah, so this is a really beautiful native plant. This is a salalberry. You might see it around the coast. You'll see it around here in Forest Park and things like that. This is one of my favorite natives here. It produces a really great berry. And now is the time to start getting...
Not an edible berry.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
edible
really?
berry. Yeah, salalberry is great. Yeah, been used for centuries.
Repeat the name again?
Salal.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a great time to plant native plants. Because we're just getting ready into spring. And so they want to get a base to then have their growth of their roots and have as much soil and water as possible. So this is a really good time. You don't want to do it like in late spring or summer because that's when they get stressed out and they die.
Because I know we're expecting really cold temperatures.
It's going to be cold,
yeah,
right? So, and maybe snow, you know, the S word. Hopefully, you know, it'll happen. Hopefully not. But a couple of things, right? So we talked about remake cover. Yeah. This is basically a blanket for your plants. But also, I want to let people know that it's okay if you've planted things, in particular seeds, in the soil right now, because snow acts as a blanket. Right? It's a layer, right? We might think like otherwise, like, oh, it's going to be super cold. But actually, no, it creates a layer and keeps your soil warm and protected.
That doesn't sound right.
Right, so it's okay. If you do have some plants, cover crop's going to do great in the snow. If you do have other plants that are sensitive to cold, get some remake. This lets in sun and also rain, but it keeps your plants warm during the cold temperatures at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also wanted to warn us about slugs.
Yeah, so two things I want to talk about as we're getting ready to. I know there was a segment last week about peas. We're going to be talking about peas real heavy because there's this idea that you should be planting peas in February, towards the end of February. So I wanted to talk about two things real fast. So seeds that you want to get in the ground early.
Like peas?
Yeah, we have some peas, and what I like to do is before you get them outside into the ground is soak them, right? Cold water. Okay. Cold water is the key. You don't want to cook them.
Oh, well, good point.
Right, so cold water, and what you want to do is let this sit 24 hours overnight. And the idea is you're basically rehydrating them, so when they get into the soil, they don't need to then absorb water to then be able to sprout. So you're basically kind of like pre-soaking them to then get ready to then grow early. So it gives them a jump start, right? So what happens is you get them in the ground and all of a sudden you get this pea shoot that comes out. This beautiful pea shoot.
It's really cute.
Well, our friends are waiting in the wings. This guy's actually coming over to check everybody out.
Evil.
These guys are waiting. I want to tell you all, an hour ago, these were frozen balls of slugs.
They were faking
in my garden. And everyone's like, oh, there's not going to be any slugs right now. It's too cold out. They're frozen.
Yeah.
Not true. They're waiting until the temperatures warm up, and now they're hungry. So you've just planted your peas. You've prepped your soil. Your peas are just starting to grow. Perfect time for them to come and then eat all your hard work in a matter of minutes, overnight.
How do you get rid of them?
Right.
I mean, you're the gardener. You're the one that you found
I have
those
slugs in my garden, which is
yeah.
totally normal. We're never going to be able to have no slugs in our garden.
Okay.
It's okay. People won't like to hear this, but what I do, I go out and I hand pick slugs out of my garden. Literally.
You have sons.
I do.
You could have sent them out.
I could have sent them out, look for slugs.
Right.
They do like that as well.
I would have I would have thought,
and it is something you need to go out now, right? Because they're not moving. Look under things, look under rocks, look under logs. If you have things in your garden, they're going to be hiding there to stay warm.
Yeah.
Right? So go out there in the, in the middle of the day, totally fine. Go out there sometimes in the summertime. I'll go out with a headlamp at night and literally pick slugs off.
What do you do with the little
Well,
guys?
what I do with them, I squash them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might put them into my compost bin as well, but
okay, send your emails to Jason. Okay, never mind. All right.
Yeah.
So now, okay, we touched on. Wow, that's brutal.
Yeah, they're gonna be active now, and so you want to control the population, right? You need to knock them down now, because what happens is springtime, right? They're gonna then come out. They're gonna be looking for mates.
Right.
They're gonna then be laying slug eggs, and then you're gonna have a bigger population.
Oh, we don't
want
that.
So now is the time to really be looking at slugs and preventative actions for slugs. If you get past that and you want to use like something like a Sluggo or other things, there's other ways that we can talk about slugs, but hand picking is the best way to do it.
Yeah. We brought out peas and how to get those.
Peas. This is a great time. Yeah. So other things that can be going into the ground here in this month of February and also into early March are scallions, green onions, beets, carrots. Think of things that are going to be root crops and root vegetables. But also peas are one of those things that love the cold weather, and they're going to thrive more in cold than they do in the heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with the carrots and the radishes and all of that, is it the same process as you did with the peas?
No, you don't necessarily need to. So these are actually a bigger, more dense seed, and so you need to rehydrate them to then give them a jump start. You could plant them dry. Totally fine. You could also buy a plant that has already been started, or you could start some of these indoors.
Oh.
I like to do a combination of all of them.
Okay.
Right? I'll plant them dry, I'll soak them overnight and plant them, and then buy some pea starts. Okay. Because our friendly slugs are going to attack these quickly because they're hungry. They haven't eaten in a month or so.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're ready to eat. They want to eat your peas.
Darn it. Darn it. Jason, thank you so much. We'll put information too on our website at k2.com. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.